My name is Gabrielle Cardona. I'm the owner of Life Synergy Coaching. I've been in business for about 20 years, and when GK Talks invited me to share my story, my inspirational story with people, I thought, yeah, I like that idea. The fact that everything on social media seems so negative now, and a lot of people don't really trust people on the internet, but everyone's on the internet. Yeah, let's take advantage of an opportunity to tell not only my success story, but provide the guidance and the specifics about how I got to be where I am today, overcoming odds. Yeah, sometimes even seemingly insurmountable odds, because my life story has been a very long one. I'm almost 50 years old. I've been married for 30 years. I've been in business for 20 years. I've raised 3 children, and I'm a grandmother. Now, most people don't believe that when they look at me because I don't look like I'm 50. Yeah, and I don't act like I'm 50. I think that's an even bigger one. The fact that I act like I'm still young at heart, and I have that energy, and that is what motivates people. As a coach, I've actually been in the coaching industry for about 20 years total, yeah, but I've been a relationship coach for the last 8 of the 12 years. I started out as a life coach because I disagreed so much with the pharmaceutical industry and the mental health industry in the United States. I didn't agree with labeling people as mentally ill whenever they had a problem. Yeah, doctors just wanted to put a word on them and then say, okay, so with this mental illness, disease even, you need this drug. And I thought, but that never helps them. That never actually helps them resolve whatever the issue is, and it never takes care of the problem that they're having. And I really didn't like the fact that they would answer your question with a question. I know this because I had tough times as a young girl. My mom would send me to different mental health experts. There were psychologists, there were psychiatrists, there were therapists, there were counselors. Yeah, they were all supposedly experts in their field, and none of them actually helped me. And I thought, I want to help people. If I'm going to focus on their problems, I want to give them a solution, an actual tangible piece of information that they can put to good practical use in their life. And yeah, I liked that idea when I think I was 25 when I heard it first, a coach. It was probably on one of those television talk shows, that an expert, it wasn't a psychiatrist, it wasn't a psychologist, it wasn't a counselor, it wasn't a therapist, it was a coach. I thought, yeah, see, I like the sound of that. What's the difference? Well, when I thought about it, a coach is someone who doesn't take you off the field to try and tell you you're bad. They might, but that's not a good thing to do. They would actually give you the equipment and the strategy to score in the game of life with the... See, now I can do that. I want to do that. I want to tell people what's good about them and what opportunities they have and what gifts and talents and strengths and abilities they have to motivate them to, overcome the odds. I had a very difficult childhood. It was tough for me because not only was I raised by a single mother, but I wasn't raised half the time by anybody. My parents were separated when I was very young. They divorced when I was about 2.5. But my first really seemingly insurmountable personal challenge was I was in a coma when I was 2. I was diagnosed with probable encephalitis. Encephalitis is when your brain actually swells. And when I was in the coma for 2 weeks, I had been in a coma for 2 weeks, and my father said to the doctor, when is my baby going to get better? And he said, you know what, it doesn't look like she's going to. We may need to just pull the plug, kind of, stop trying to make something happen. If she's not going to come out of it, she's not going to come out of it. Do you want to keep her on life support just as a vegetable? And he said, let me think about it. And he went out into the hallway and he prayed and he said, God, please help me with my baby. Give me my baby girl back. And when he came back into the room, and everything was completely different. I had literally sat up. I was sitting up, and he said, what happened? And the doctor said, we don't know. She just came out of it. It just happened. And he said, okay, this is good. This is exciting. So I'm going to make sure that I get this one going, and I make sure I do it right. So when my mother got custody of me, I would only get to see him every other weekend, so 4 days a month. That wasn't very much time. He still ended up being one of the most important people in my life, because it wasn't about the quantity of time that I spent with him, it was the quality. We had a relationship that was based on communication and trust. I trusted him and I respected him because of the things that he taught me. The time that he spent with me, we were talking and we were bonding, we were doing things, we were going places. We actually had a connection that I never really had with my mom. As a single mother, she was a flight attendant. She was gone a lot of the time, and when she was here with us in the home, she was busy doing everything that she couldn't have done when she was gone, right? Sometimes she would fly out of the country. She was catching up on a lot of work. But it was funny because I grew up, again, in the 80s. It was at a time when people were saying, feminism is the movement, it's about personal power and women and success. And yeah, it may have started out as a very noble cause, as a movement, a social movement. It was equality. Women need opportunities. They deserve to have the same opportunities as men. They deserve to make the same amount of money as men. And when we know that we have that personal power, we can make changes in the world. That was going to be our movement, our mark. It's going to make the world a better place. Well, by the time 1980 came around, that's when I was 4, it had become kind of toxic. And all of the messages that I was hearing from my mom and my aunts and the television and the movies and the music, all these entertainment industries, the only thing that I was hearing from them was, yeah, men are the problem. We got to get past men. Oh, we need to be good in life without men. Okay, now that actually had become something very destructive, because I was told that men are the problem. We as women, we don't need them in our life. We can do everything that men do for us without the men involved. Now, look, I understand that personal power is very powerful, and it's very important, and it's a very potentially good thing. But when we're using our power to divide ourselves and separate from each other, that's not beneficial to us or the people that we're separating from. We need to get back together. We need to work together. There's a word, it's called cooperation. Cooperate. Co means together. Operate means work. If we work together, we're going to get exponentially more done than if we're doing the same thing at the same time, separate from each other. Now, do you believe that? Do you believe that when you have personal power, you can make great things happen? But when you come together with people and you actually unify your power, there you go, you get together, you unify your power, and you work together with each other, you can do so much, not actually more, not just more, but even better, because the quality of what you're doing goes up when you have different people with different gifts and talents and strengths and abilities, and you're working with them for a good cause, for a good reason, because you have the same goal. That can make the world much better than if you were both doing the exact same thing, just separate from each other. Yeah, my dad was important to me, and then I had a congregation that was also very important, because again, since my mother wasn't really there most of the time, she couldn't be, she had to go to work. The village, right? There's an expression, it takes a village to raise a child. The village that I had was amazing people. Some of them were single people, right? Because they had a lot of time. They could take on an extra kid, bring a kid with them to a place. Sometimes it was a family. Sometimes it was just the body of elders in my congregation. I had 5 elders in the congregation that I was raised in. And there were times when I had questions. I wanted to talk, and they would answer my questions. Sometimes I felt alone and I needed a hug and good words of encouragement. Hey, you know what? You're doing great, and I'm really proud of you. Whatever it was that I needed from them, they provided it to me. And that's why when I came out of the coma, I ended up having grand mal seizures. Yeah, that was kind of a residue of what my brain trying to get back to what it was. There was still that damage done. But my father taught me different lessons. The 3 most important lessons he taught me. Number 1, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay, and as a young girl, that didn't mean much to me, but as I grew up, see, it's about having social connections, but it's also about having that personal bond with the people that you are connected to. It's not just about what you know, it's about who you know, but then it's also the edification, that fortification of that connection that you have with them that's going to open up opportunities, doors of opportunities. But it's also going to give you the support and the resources that you need in order to get those things done. Yes, as a woman, you can do it on your own, but I didn't want to do it on my own. I liked people, I liked men, and I trusted them, and I appreciated them, and I respected them. The second thing he taught me was, when you lie to other people, you lose out on opportunities. But when you lie to yourself, you have nothing left. You don't even have yourself left. And I went, what? Because when you lie to yourself, you start believing your own lies. What you have isn't real. You don't have the substance of the quality of the information that you need in order to get things done in life. Okay, so there were times when I was frustrated and I was alone and I was overwhelmed, and I thought, but you know what? I have to be honest with myself. What really is going on and what really do I need? And that was important, because when I had those connections and I could be honest with them, they were actually okay helping me out. Yes, okay. And the third thing, the most important, possibly the most important thing, he said, you are worth it. What does that mean? Well, what it came down to sometimes was, you're worth the wait. Now, again, we know in the 80s, after the 70s, yeah, promiscuity was glamorized and it was glorified, and it was, yeah, if you sleep around, men can sleep around, men can use women, yeah, let's use men too. Okay, well, no, I was told you need to wait until you're married to sleep with someone. You can actually wait until you're married. And I thought, you know what? That's what I want. I want a man who actually believes that I'm worth the wait. Because if I know that he loves me enough to put me before himself, that means he's a good quality person. Okay, so quality above quantity, that was going to come around to unify with those other principles that my father taught me. And that's the reason now why, after 20 years of being in business, 30 years of being married, 3 children that I've raised, I am healthy and happy and successful. The theme here, ladies and gentlemen, to success, it's about quality connections with people. You got to get together with people. Now, again, in a congregation based on the Bible, right, it's a Christian religion, the 2 most important principles that I learned from the Bible were, number 1, there's more joy in giving than in receiving. And number 2, you can conquer evil with good. Yes, you can. But good is not just about what you do. That's about your thoughts, and it's about your feelings that are what are the source of what you do. Okay, so now that's a little bit tricky. Okay, you have to get your thoughts and your feelings into a good, high quality state. But you know what? If you do that, then that means you're going to attract good people to you. See, and when there's a bad situation, the good that you have is going to be more powerful than the bad that's going on around you. It could be a situation, it could be a person, it could be just a circumstance that doesn't really go away. It could be like the setting of what you're in. If you have good quality, positive, healthy motivations and intentions, feelings and thoughts, you can carry out your actions in such a way that the good actually gets rid of the bad. Now wait a minute, okay, that sounds a little oversimplified. It's almost too easy, right? Well, not really. Now think about this. Do you believe, first of all, do you believe that good is more powerful than bad? Some people don't say that. They don't believe that because bad is so prevalent and it's so powerful in the world today. The reason why good has not completely eliminated it, because most good people give up. They give up too easily. And so when they just concede and they surrender and say, fine, you know what? You're bad. I'm going to be just as bad as you. Okay. And how's that working for you? How did that do you? How did that do the situation? And how well did that resolve the issue or the problem? It didn't. It just made it worse. It propelled it. It augmented it, right? So now thinking about this, that principle in mind, there's more joy in giving. If you actually say to people, if if you approach them with the mentality of who you are is good, and what I appreciate and I respect and I'm grateful for in you as a person, you have an opportunity to make my life better by giving me what good you have inside of you. Do you know how many people would say, really? You want me to make you happy? Tell me what would make you happy. Just tell me what would make you happy, and I will absolutely do that, because I like it when me, who I am, my gifts and talents and strengths and abilities make the world a better place. Yeah, you maximize that and you take advantage of the opportunities that we have to work together. What's the best way to beat some group? It's something and conquer. How do you conquer? Divide. When you divide people, it makes them weak. That means when they unify, they become stronger. Yeah, and they fortify each other. And when more and more and more and more get together, unfortunately, the things that I tell people are, there's no neutral energy. It has to be positive energy. Just coming together with people isn't going to make you successful in a good, healthy way. You have to have that good, healthy energy, that positive mindset, those good emotional, right, situations inside of yourself that are going to manifest in your external world. Do you know how to do kind of a personal inventory and say, what am I thinking right now? How am I feeling right now? My favorite teacher, I was in ballet for 12 years. My ballet teacher, she would always say that if you wanted to be good in the way that you move, if you want to be beautiful in the way that you display what I'm teaching you, it's hard, okay? You have to be centered. Now if you're going to get up on your toes, right, and you're going to be doing all of these wonderful movements, but you're going to be up on your toes, do you know that your point shoes, there's a flat, it's only about this big, okay? Your entire weight of your entire body has to be literally channeled onto that one small little space. How can you get, you know what, girls, they weigh anywhere from 50 to 100 pounds. How can you get all of that weight funneled, channeled into that small little flat spot on the top of your toes? You get centered. See? Centered meant that your weight, not balanced, because balanced is external. Centered is internal. Okay, that meant that the place where the top of your head was needed to be in line with the place that the middle of your stomach is. They actually call that your base, okay? Because for a girl especially, the base of your weight is just a little bit below the belly button. So when you have to get your base centered and it has to be in alignment with the top of your head, then you can get it all the way down your leg. You can funnel and channel that weight distribution to the bottom of your toe. Yeah, see, then you can actually start moving your whole body around and your arms and legs and spinning it, but your weight is going to be perfectly still. Balanced inside, that means centered. When you're talking about emotionally and mentally centered, that means having that stability and that consistency. Yeah, that actually gives you strength. Whoa, wait a minute. If we have strength to do things, and when we get together, we do more things, but we also do them better, what is that worth? Okay. Now, a lot of times, again, capitalism is just a very popular philosophy. It's a modus operandi. It's a value system, right? We want to have more money. We want to have more possessions. We want to have power. We want to have influence. Okay, but if we're off center, then what we're doing is very random and it's very unstable and we hurt people. The principles that I teach people on my show is there's no neutral energy and there's no inertia, and knowledge is power. Now, okay, so if there's no neutral energy, that means you're either positive or you're negative. When you're moving through your life, are you positive or are you negative? And some people say, well, I'm neither. I don't care. I'm neutral. Sorry, there's no neutral energy. If you are not neutral, the word is actually you don't care. That's indifferent. Indifferent. You know what? That's negative because people need positive energy. So if you say you don't care, that's negative energy. You're having a negative impact on people. Okay. So there's no neutral energy. It's either positive or negative. You need to get positive. There's no inertia. That means you're never standing still. With relationships, we're either moving towards each other or we're moving away. Ask yourself, when you get together with people, are you moving towards them or are you moving away from them? And people can feel how you're feeling. Whether you like it or not, they can pick up not only on your vibes, but they can feel your emotional constitution. Now, we have technology. Again, that's not a good thing because we can't feel each other when we have a machine getting in the way. Communication is only about 10% words. What's the other 90%? That is our body language. That's our eye contact. That's sense stress, modulation, intonation, inflection, volume, and pausing. That's our voice. We have to have our voice. We have to get together. So knowledge is power. That's the third thing I teach people. When you have the information that you got from your electronic device, how do you use your power? When you have power over people, you're either moving towards them or you're moving away from them. It's either positive or negative impact that you're having on them. Do you appreciate the responsibility that comes with that power? The doors of opportunity that open for you and them to get together, to synchronize and to synergize. You've got a lot of opportunity in the world to come together. Do you know that sometimes you'll have to take a step back to recenter, to get your thoughts and feelings in alignment in a good, healthy, positive energy way to then be proactive, not reactive, in the action that you take with people. Wow, think about that, ladies and gentlemen. What can you do with people when you get together? Put your phone down. Now, I'll give you an example. This is an actual real story. When I was raising my daughter, she and I would say, you know what, we're crazy here in our home, whatever it is. It could be a house, it could be an apartment. We need to get out and we need to spend quality time, just mother-daughter time together. So I said to her, you know what, let's have a restaurant that we go to once a week. Sunday mornings, we would spend breakfast time together. Sometimes it was a Saturday, depending on the time that our church started, because it did change sometimes every year. And I would say to her, okay, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Yeah, we got a routine. And so one day we were sitting there, we were talking. I said, baby, you can talk to me about whatever you want. Anything you want to talk about. She said, okay, well, you know what? Sometimes it was different things. Sometimes it was the same thing, just in a different way. And I said, honey, you know what? It's okay. Anything you want to talk about. No holds barred. One day, she just out of the blue, suddenly, for no apparent reason, she turned to me and she said, if you ever pull your cell phone out while you're with me in public and we're spending time together, I will divorce you. And I said, baby, where did that come from? My phone is on silent, in my purse, under my chair, in a place where even if I did hear it ring, I wouldn't be able to get it. Where are you coming up with this? And she said, look at that family over there. And I looked and I said, whoa, it was a father and a mother and a son and a daughter, literally all at the same table, eating their food, looking at and I went, oh my God, they're not talking to each other. They're not even looking at each other. Look, sometimes, you're talking, but you're looking at your phone, while you're talking. They weren't talking, they weren't looking, and they almost looked like they didn't want to be together. And I said, baby, that's my concern, that's my nightmare, that's my greatest fear, that you're going to do that to me, that you're going to want your phone more than me. And she hugged me and she said, Mom, no, I want to be with you. And I'm like, thank you so much. She's 25 now, and we still go out. As a family, my other son is 27, my oldest is 29. Actually, he just turned 30. We spend time together. Our rule is you cannot have technology when we're especially in a public place, and we're having some quality time connecting with each other. You gotta put your machine down. You have to turn your technology off. And when we spend good quality time together, what's important to you? What's important to me? What can we do together? Communication. That goes back to the other principle my father taught me. You have to be honest. That's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Sometimes we don't even know the truth until we hear ourselves say it. Do you listen to people? Do you actually hear what they say? And if you're confused and you're like, you know what, I don't know, this doesn't really make sense, or I think I'm missing a few pieces, ask questions to clarify and say, okay, is this what you meant? And is this what you need? I want to give to you because there's more joy in giving than in receiving. If what I am and who I am is going to make the quality of your life better because it's going to help you deal with the problems and the struggles that you have, let me be what you need. That's going to make your life better, right? But it's also going to make my soul better, and it's going to make the world better, because when we got together and we figured out what we were doing and we unified not only in our purpose, but in our motives and in our intentions. Yeah, people said to me, I want you to be my coach, not only because you have the right answers from the book that you read, that you got your certification, your license from, but I like how you are. You're actually in a good mood. And your husband and your kids, they like you. I want you to teach me how to make people like me. I don't want to have an animal as my child. I actually want my kid to call me and say, hi, Mom, Dad. How are you doing? Let's get together. Let's go out to eat and let's talk and let's listen and let's make each other better people. When we walk away from each other, the quality of our soul has improved. So everything that we do after we have separated is going to be a higher quality. It's going to be better not only for us, our health and our wellness, but it's going to make the world a better place. Yeah, when my father said to basically God, if you give me my daughter, I'm gonna make her an amazing person. That took time. It took a lot of work, communication, building that relationship. Yeah, the seizures that I have, you know what? I can manage my seizures. I have exercises that I do where I get myself centered. My body physically actually can stop seizures from happening because I learned the tricks, and I have people in my life who give me the help and support that I need when I say to them, you know what, this is a need that I have. And I know that you, as your individual, amazingly greatness person that you are, who you are makes the quality of my life better. They love it and they say, tell me what you need, how you need it, because I know that who I am is making the world a better place. That makes me a better soul. We can do this together. I had a hard time with my husband getting married because he's Mexican, I'm American. Yeah, they didn't like me. They tried to stop us from getting married. Too bad. I was going to do it, right? I had a hard time with my business because managing my time between my husband and my children and my health and my family, yeah, there were definitely some obstacles. I didn't have credit. I didn't have the credibility in the industry in the beginning, but you know what? I put my nose to the grindstone. I reached out to the people that were my resources. It wasn't what I knew, it was who I knew. They gave me the support and the resources that I wouldn't have otherwise had. But it was because they respected me and they appreciated me and they trusted me because we communicated. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the success. That's the element. That's the principle. That's the story. We've got to get together. Let's come together. Do you know what the people that you love think and feel? Don't text, talk. Put your phone down, okay, and go up to them and say, this is what I think you need. How close am I? And if I'm not right, clarify and correct me, because it's worth it to me if that misunderstanding that's dividing us, it's preventing us from working together, can be overcome, it can be solved, it can be resolved, so that we get together, so that our energy is positive and our force is more powerful and our motives and our intentions make us very, very good together. We make the world a better place. Yeah, you can go get a job and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but you know what? If you're alone, it's really not that enjoyable and it's not that great, because what makes us human, what makes life great, is our strength together, our unity, right? When we have that force, that social force, that emotional strength, and that psychological, that mental stability that we provide to fortify each other, that's going to make us able to overcome whatever personal challenges we have, whatever struggles we experience. We are going to be great for each other, with each other, to each other. You can't put a dollar quantitative value on that. That's priceless. Time and energy and love and attention, support and encouragement and affection. Those are the things that make the quality of our soul better. Do I look 50? No. Do I look like I've been married for 30 years? No. Do I look like a grandmother? Yeah, my oldest had a daughter. I don't look like it because I feel good. I feel good because I reach out to the people and I say to them, who you are is good. And what I need from you is high quality. And what I'm going to give you when you make me a better person is going to be better quality than what it would have been before you had come into my life. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the story. That's the secret. That's the key to success. And you inspire people and you motivate people. No one can take that away from you. And everything that you do in the world is going to be of a better quality, higher value. That's what makes life successful. Inspire people. Do you know what? Make yourself powerful. Know who you are. That's the secret to true happiness.